Hello and welcome to the video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm trying a little project that's landscape photography based, but I would like you to come with me to see this amazing place that is Flamborough Head in Yorkshire. Let's go. The reason I'm trying something different is because things just have not been going my way recently. Just yesterday, I had an absolutely epic landscape photography plan. The weather was right yesterday. It was going to be really bright, beautiful, cold morning with that high pressure in the Lake District, and my sources were telling me that the mountains were snow-capped. So I'd put a little plan together to get up there and over there from Leeds to the Lake District for the sunrise, and it was epic. It was going to be epic. There was different locations picked out that I'd picked out myself, that I've scouted out before, and everything was going to according to plan. For once, I was particularly organised. I had all my stuff downstairs ready so I didn't wake the kids. I had even had the coffee prepped and the toast ready, or the bread ready to go in the toaster. It was perfect. I then set my alarm, ready to wake up in the morning, went to bed, went to sleep, and then woke up, you've guessed it, way after my alarm was due to go off. I do not know how it happened. That never happens to me. I never ever sleep in. Never have done. Always been on time, but either the alarm didn't go off or it did go off and just in my sleep I've gone and just turned it off. I honestly have absolutely no memory of doing that though. So it was very, very frustrating. I was on limited time. I'm out doing a workshop today, so I didn't have much chance to do a full vlog. So I had to come up with another plan. When these kind of things happen, it's always nice to have some kind of photography project on the back burner. When things aren't going right, you can pull that out and work on that. So that's what I'm doing today. Okay, so I've actually set up for a shot, which I was not planning to do today. I don't normally film when I'm doing a workshop, but we've had a bit of extra time today, so it's worked out nicely. And this is just a stunning scene. I've been feeling a lot of black and white at the moment, so I've got a feeling this is going to work really well as a black and white long exposure image. So all I'm going for is to have this sort of cove leading me up into the bigger, wider cove here. So it's sort of smaller little jutting out bit here. I'm not describing it very well, but it sort of goes into this cove here. Then we've got the sort of main area of the cliff face in the background as the sort of focal point. There's quite an interesting sky. There has been all day. There's not a massive amount of colour in it, but there's a lot of detail in that cloud, so that's working really nicely. I'm at, settings-wise, f16 because I have a 6-stop filter on the front. I'm at f16 just to lengthen that exposure out a little bit, which is giving me, at ISO 100, a 5-second exposure, which is just working really nicely just to smooth out that water just a touch. I might try it with a 10-stop filter as well, just to lengthen that exposure even more. 5 seconds is taking the movement and putting some movement into that water quite nicely, so it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to take one more image. There still isn't much light, but keep still because it's on quite bouncy grass here, and then we'll have a look at what that image looks like. Yeah, nice. So as many of you may know, I have been struggling quite a bit with my landscape photography recently. A little while ago, when I was talking about printing a bit, I printed out a 4x6 image from all of the vlogs that I've done this year, and I put them up in a collage on the wall of my studio, and it's something I'm quite proud of. It's a body of work I'm quite proud of. As I was studying it yesterday, after mucking up and not going out in the end, I sort of realised that just naturally and subconsciously, I guess, is that there are 3 categories of landscape photography that I've done all year. One is woodland or trees. Number 2 is the beach or at the seaside, like I am today, and I've been here a couple of times this year already. And number 3 was mountains. It's sort of those 360-degree views are what I'm known for, and mountains have formed a big part of the work. So I thought I would do something to represent those 3 categories, and that's kind of the idea I've come up with. And I want it to be black and white as well. It's going to be based in the studio, because what I was thinking was just some way of, when things aren't going right or the weather's not good, of bringing the outdoors indoors, and that's kind of the theme of this project. So to represent woodland, all I need is a leaf. Quite obviously, I want to have a leaf in the image to represent woodland. That seems obvious. Number 2 was the seaside. I wanted to use a shell again. It seems pretty obvious, but I didn't have a shell. So sort of with the name of the video, I've come to the beach just to find the shell, although I have done a workshop as well. So a bit of clickbait, but I hope you don't mind. Number 3 was mountainous. Now, when you're out on the mountain, the rock and the dirt and the earth, all just things you feel when you're there, but they don't necessarily make a very good image. So I had to rack my brains a little bit. What I came up with was the cairns. When you're out on the mountain, they have these cairns or piles of rocks every once in a while that show you where the path is when the weather's bad. So I've created a small cairn made out of smaller stones and pebbles that will represent that. That's the project for today. I've come here to find the shell. I'm going to go home. I'm going to take those images in the studio, and then I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to do that. I've done a workshop today. I'm doing that. I'm taking those images when I get home, and then I've got to edit the vlog. It's Saturday evening now, so I've got about 24 hours before the next video goes out. I'm going to buy a Christmas tree with the family tomorrow, so very busy. It's going to be a late night, but it's worthwhile. Creating is what it's all about for me, and that's what I'm going to continue doing today. Right, whilst I'm here today, I also thought it would be a good chance to try out the new low noise DJI Mavic PRO rotor blades or blades. So I bought some. I'm going to do a little comparison just to show you. I could have made a whole video on this, but I didn't want to, so I just thought I'd include it in today's video. I'm going to try it with the old ones first, so you get an idea of how noisy it is. Then we'll switch them over, put the new ones on, and see if they actually are worth the £20 for the new set of rotor blades for your DJI Mavic. So let's just get the controller. I'm already set up. I don't know why, but the app keeps crashing today for some reason, so that's quite annoying. But let's get this going. We'll see how noisy it is. I'm going to put this camera down. Okay, so it thinks there's an obstacle there. It's just me. Come a bit closer so we can get an idea of the noise. Pretty noisy, but not too bad. It's never really bothered me, to be honest, but I just wanted to try these out. So let's land that. Now we've done that, and see what those other ones look like. Down we go, and landed, and that's it. Right, let's stop that record on there and put in the new ones. Go. And it doesn't make any difference at all. So it is a bit quieter when it's coming in hot like that. It is a bit quieter. And whoa. Okay, so as you heard there, it barely makes any difference. Coming in hot, it does make a bit of a difference. So you decide if it's worth £20 or not, but I was always pretty happy with the old ones. I wouldn't bother. Right, I've stayed a little bit longer than I planned to because the light's just done so much more than was forecast today. So I've stayed and I'm going to capture one more shot. And the reason I've decided to make this shot is because the clouds are actually looking really interesting. There's a colour starting to develop, and at the moment the sun is casting some really, really beautiful golden light onto the edge of that lighthouse and onto the sort of white building in the radio tower as well. So to get the shot right, there's a lot of dynamic range in the image. I'm going for bracketing, as I do always, 2 stops either side, and I'm at f16 because I just want to extend that exposure time a little bit with that 6 stopper as well to smooth out the sea and create a bit more movement in the clouds to make the image as dramatic as I possibly can. Got this sort of gorse bush along the bottom there, just providing a little bit of interest in the foreground. I'm planning to crop it down to a slightly wider panoramic 16:9 because there's not much interest in this foreground, and that's the way the composition is going to work. So whilst I hang around here for a few more minutes to capture as much colour in this image as I can, I'm going to do a nice little transition to get me back to the studio. Okay, I wish the last few hours had been as easy as that, but I've been working pretty hard. I did manage to find my shell low. There it is, found that at the beach and brought it home, and it's formed part of the final image. This is the final image, or the final images of the day. I've managed to find this frame to put them in there. I'm really happy with it. I wanted that black and white theme all along, and I've gone for this kind of low-key look on the leaf, which is representing the woodland. I've got the high-key effect on the shell there, which is kind of giving you that feeling of representing seascapes and the beach and seaside, that type of thing. And then I've got the stones at the bottom in the shape of a cairn, representing my mountain photography. So I'm really happy with it. I'm pleased I've spent the time to do it. I put this together to rescue my failed shoot yesterday, and I'm just all over the place at the moment. My mind feels all over the place, my creativity is all over the place, and it feels a bit like this video has been all over the place as well. But I'm taking you along with everything I do. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know if you like this. Let me know if you'd like to know how I created these images in the sort of studio setup, and just generally let me know what you think of the video. I really appreciate it. Do subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't done so already, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. I'm putting out a few on a Wednesday now, so hopefully I'll see you on another one very soon. I'm Adam, this is First Man Photography in the studio and in Flamborough today. Out.
Say what you wanna say.